Oh yeah, welcome back, and everybody new, welcome to the D Struggles YouTube channel. I'm your host on the East Coast, and today we're going to be doing some mild porting. We're going to gasket match the exhaust housing on the turbos, so let's get at it. Alright y'all, I'm back at it again, finally. Took a little break for a while, but we got us a cup of fresh brewed, get us mentally prepared. I'm gonna start digging into it again. But yeah, I haven't sent the engine out to the engine shop yet. Kind of been doing just a lot of research, trying to figure out exactly what all goes into and what I should exactly be doing to the engine. And also on a really good understanding of what they're gonna be doing to it and what I want them to do to it. So this way when I get it back, I know everything's right. That's the that turbo there is the new turbo, and that's the one of the original ones. So I bought myself some new exhaust flanges for the turbos, and yeah, because I'm gonna have to cut these ones off and then reposition them. But I think this one's fine. This one's actually sitting, it's a little bit higher, which is better, because on this side I got the wiring harness underneath this cone filter here, and it hits the filter and it's tearing the filter up from underneath. So I actually want to raise these up just a hair. So yeah, that one's actually sitting good with the original flange, but I'm still going to cut it off and put the new ones on anyway. And I'm going to save those ones just in case I go bigger turbos. The original ones I got, at least I have the angle already set. I just got to cut it off and weld that piece on. But yeah, we got to pull this turbo off, get that exhaust housing off, and we're going to start porting it out, widening the hole to gasket match it. Oh yeah, another thing before we get started, yeah, I bought that exhaust pipe kit over here. I think I mentioned in the last video how we're gonna run the exhaust all the way out the back. So yeah, I ended up getting this exhaust pipe kit, 2.5 inch. I was gonna straight pipe it right out the back, but it seems like I don't have enough room to get around because I have everything going on here with this turbo. Originally, I was going to delete the AC delete pulley, fabricate me another pulley mount where the AC delete pulley mounted over here, so I have the extra room. But between the return lines and the feed lines, it's just gonna clutter it up in that area a lot. And you know, I don't want anything getting too close to one another for heat and, you know, burning or whatever. So I think I'm just gonna ditch that idea for right now, and we're just gonna keep sticking them out the front. And also, it kind of sounds better coming out the front. You get that nice whistle of the turbo. I've looked up videos after deciding that if I was going to do that or not, how the turbo sounds coming out all the way out the back, and it kind of muscles out that whistle sound from the turbos, you know, with the exhaust being so long. So that's another reason why I don't really want to do it. I kind of like that whistling sound coming out the front. Sounds pretty badass to me. I actually might go ahead and run the exhaust out the bumpers now. Cut the hole here on the side since I'm not going that route. And then I'll just get me one of those bumper flanges. And yeah, I might just go that route. But I'll have to ditch this OE reservoir here for the radiator because that kind of sticks down where the exhaust would actually come through. So I'd have to get me a custom reservoir, maybe sticking up over here somewhere or somewhere in here. Alrighty, we got these exhaust housings off, so we can start porting them. Got this bench all a disaster with turbo parts. Got them all taken apart. Even took apart that one max speeding rod turbo, the original one, because yeah, I think I'm gonna take the seal plate and the wheel and I'm gonna bring it down to the turbo shop and have them put it on the new turbo, because I was trying to align my wastegates and these brackets on the new turbos on the car a couple weeks ago. And that bracket ain't sitting right. The whole angle is different. Even if I tried modifying a little bit, it still ain't sitting right. The outlet here is actually hitting the wastegate or very close to it. So yeah, I figured if I can get those housings on, those are actually sitting perfect with the wastegates. It's either that or I'm going to have to make my own custom wastegate bracket to hold the wastegate at the angle I need. And I really don't want to do that. I'd rather have the bigger housings anyway. More air, baby. But I'm guessing that it should mount up perfectly fine because this center cartridge is pretty much the same exact center cartridge as this one. I'm hoping so anyway. Once we actually take the seal plate off of the new turbos, I'm hoping everything's the same inside. It should be. So as long as everything's the same and it's the same bearing and stuff on the inside of here, it should mount up perfectly. Just have to have it hopefully rebalanced. The only thing that I'm concerned about, because I've been trying to do research, but I'm getting mixed information on the balancing end of it. Now, that's a smaller turbine wheel on the end there, and now I'm going to be putting a bigger compressor wheel on. So I don't know if that's going to balance correctly or balance right. I'm hoping it will. If anybody has any insight, let me know. But before we get started, I'll give you all a little update on what's been going on and what I have been doing, actually. So yeah, also some of you guys were saying go ARP Studs, because originally I was just going to use the original main bearing studs to put the mains back in, but some of you guys said ARP. So I was doing research on the ARP, and when you go ARP, you got extra clamping force on these caps. So that's another thing with bringing it to the engine shop. They're going to have to clamp this down and then check my bore, because they say once you use them with the extra force on them, it could throw the roundness out of these. So they'll have to make sure it's perfectly round still. So they might have to resize these using those. You know, I'm not too sure or not, but they say to have it checked once you put those in to make sure that it doesn't throw off the roundness. So that's one other thing I have to make sure they do. Because if I go ARP, or I might just stick with the original ones. I've also been ordering parts here and there, gathering up, getting ready for it. And yeah, we ordered some stuff from Intense Racing here. I got some new lower intake manifold gaskets. We got some new copper spark plugs. We went down to heat range. I think originally the car goes with a heat range 6. I think these are heat range 7. Got me a new oil pump. Viton valve seals. We got the crank bearings, the mains, and we got the rod bearings, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use these rod bearings because they're going to be resizing the rods and they're going to be polishing the crank, and I don't know if I'm going to have to go up a size in the bearings. So yeah, the clearances might be off for the oil, so we might have to go up a size. But yeah, also got some new injectors. We got some 42-pound injectors, some eBay special for 50 bucks. Hopefully these work out. Also, yeah, when I got the exhaust system, I got a bunch of 2.5-inch V-band clamps. I got 4 of them because I was going to V-band it all together. But again, we're kind of ditching that whole idea for now. Got 2 new turbo exhaust flanges to mount the new turbos. I got me a 2-bar map sensor. This way we can actually read our boost on the HP tuners. And I got me some new gaskets. These are some Felpro gaskets, and I also ordered the cheap Big 3 gasket set from eBay as well. So, I mean, we're getting ready. It's just a couple more things. Basically, just got to send that engine out to the engine shop. Oh yeah, another thing, they're going to be doing a bore check on it. So, depending on how the bore check goes, I might have to go up a size in the pistons. But, you know, if it turns out good, I can stick with the same size pistons. But either way, I might go with a new set of pistons because it has that break-in coating on the sides to help it break in. So either way, if I can get the original size, the standard size ones, or if I have to get an oversized, I seen they have .20s or .30s, I'll probably just stick with the closest to the standard ones, the .20s, if I do get them. So it's another thing I got to save up for to get those pistons. And yeah, oh, and yeah, I made that spoiler. I think a couple of you guys asked about the spoiler, if I can make you one or whatnot, or how much I would charge. But I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'll make them. But I'm trying to figure out a price range on what would be a fair price to make it, send it out to you with the hardware, the exact hardware and everything, so you can mount it up. All you'd have to do is pretty much just drill the holes for the mounting on the spoiler itself to actually install it. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know if you'd be interested in buying one. I don't know. I still got to do research because right now the way I'm cutting this thing out, it's a heartache with that, the hell's it called? Jigsaw. So I might have to buy me a plasma cutter and use a plasma cutter to cut it out and make it a whole lot easier. Or either that, or there's a shop close to me. I can cut one more out, bring him the template, and then have him set it in his computer. And then anytime anybody wants one, I can just have him cut me one out. But again, I have to figure out how much he's going to charge, the hardware, and then even after he does it, I'm going to have to put the curve in it and maybe, you know, fine-tune it, sand it or whatnot. I don't know how it would come out after he cuts it, but yeah, it's something to think about. Let me know if any of you guys are interested in that. All right, back to these exhaust housings. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to port out the wastegate hole here on the new housings. The original housings, as you can see, the hole is quite a bit bigger. And in doing my research, I found something called boost creep. And if you don't know what boost creep is, it's when your wastegate hole is too small, and even when the wastegate actually opens up, it's not letting enough exhaust gases out to slow the turbine down, and you'll just continue to creep boost, and that can ultimately damage your engine. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take care of that. Already did this one. Alright, so pretty much what I'm doing is I just loaded up this napkin with a bunch of paint, and then I'm dabbing it onto the wastegate flap here. And then we're going to reinstall the wastegate and then close the flap. This way it leaves us an imprint of the flap onto the housing. So this way we know how far to go. Got to hold the wastegate open while you're putting this together. And then once you get it secured in the position, you close it so it leaves that imprint. Damn you. I didn't put enough paint, so I got to take this back off, load it up with a bunch more paint. But you get the point. There's our imprint. Now we know which way to go when we're reaming this thing out, porting it. So the next step I do is I found something that was pretty much the same exact size as this hole here that this fits in, and this is actually one of the knockouts from the electric panel over there. It ended up being the same exact size as the original port in that one. So I'm pretty much just lining this up because we don't want to go upwards, we're good over there. So I'm pretty much lining this up and then evening it out in here and then tracing around it with a Sharpie. Got my Sharpie mark on there. And I'm just going to go as far as the Sharpie mark. We got it secured in the vise. So it's reaming time, baby. All right. Good to go. Snack time. What you want? My pumpkin pie. Alright, so now we get a whole finger in the hole instead of the tip. Alright, time to gasket match this mofo. Got my new flange, like I was saying, and the gasket. So yeah, we're just gonna put this gasket on here and then trace around with a Sharpie. Bingo. Alright. We got the one done. Give y'all a comparison. Got nice and widened out. Now, the whole point in doing this, if you don't know, is for better airflow, less back pressure, and less heat. Because with these little ledges, when the exhaust gases are coming through, you can hit here, kind of push some exhaust back, create more heat, and create back pressure. So by doing that, I'll reduce my back pressure, I'll get better spooling and flow. That's pretty much it. I didn't go too crazy though. I just used that one grinding wheel. We widened it up. There's actually little tabs on the inside of these because of the little notches here, the way the casting is made. So I didn't even grind them all the way down. I just took them down about halfway and still left it so it's supportive, because I read on a forum page guys took this whole piece out and it weakened the casting, and then this part cracked off or something like that. So yeah, I don't want to have those problems. So we're doing minimal here. So the exhaust housings are pretty much going to be good. Just got to finish up that one. And then next, I want to gasket match the cylinder heads as well. We're going to do the intake ports and the exhaust ports here. Yeah, I'm not going crazy on those either. We're just going to widen the holes up just on the edges, so the gasket again, so there's no like deflection going on where it's going to create excess heat. And yeah, that's about it. And once I get the engine out, I'm also going to do the same thing to the lower intake manifold, maybe even a little bit on the upper intake manifold, depending on how it looks. But yeah, we'll save that one for another video. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace and love. Keep it real, and I'll see you on the next one.